Hi everyone. Um, I want to talk about what's on all of our minds, or at least a lot of our minds. The murder of Ahmad Aubrey. I actually just got off the phone with the governor's office out in Georgia. That was the third number that I had called. I had signed a petition, and I was able to reach someone at the governor's office just to demand justice. And I think back to, I guess, the first vivid, you know, um, the first vivid, case that I remember in recent history. For me, it was the Trayvon Martin case. I was actually in Georgia. I was living in Georgia, sorry, not Georgia, Florida, when that happened. I went to school in South Florida. I remember when that verdict was passed and that it came out. I remember where I was. I I was just really upset, frustrated. I remember I was talking to a friend from undergrad, and we were both just venting to each other about how in today's, well, that at that point, that was 2012, 2013 or so, how a black boy, 15, 16 years old, can be gunned down in his own neighborhood, and the killer set free. And we were just venting to each other, frustrated, myself and my friend. And as we were doing that, I remember my classmates posting. Remember, I went to school in South Florida. I had classmates that I was in school with, that I saw every day and sat down with every day in class, that got on Facebook and were celebrating the verdict, the same verdict that I that 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 just I was so distraught about. They were celebrating and posting, "Oh yeah, stand your ground," and all of this stuff. And from there, I mean, I think about so many of the other cases that followed after that. Sandra Bland. I remember, I mean, Sandra Bland went to PV. My little sister went to PV. I remember calling my sister and just telling her, hey, look, just be careful. If you get pulled over, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Don't resist in any way. You know, I remember I feeling fearful whenever, I think the last time I got pulled over, I um, I was in Laredo, and I was driving to work one morning, and I I was trying to get through to the next lane, and this car wasn't letting me through, and he f- he finally passed me up, and then I flipped the bird, and then he slowed down, got behind me, and I was still like, okay, whatever. After a few seconds, turned on his lights. He was an undercover officer, and we pulled into just I pulled into a park just a shopping mall parking lot, and I remember there wasn't really anyone out there, and this guy pulled up behind me, and I was just like, okay, he pulled up, and you know how you get pulled over, and usually it takes, you know, they're running your place for a few minutes and this and that. Well, I guess he had already done that prior. Um, Usually cops don't come out immediately when they pull you over. This guy came out immediately, and was charging towards me, and I was just like, "I'm sorry, officer. I was just trying to get to work." You know. Yeah, that's the reality that a lot of us are in. Um, that's just the reality. And unfortunately, there are many that the reason why that continues to perpetrate in this society, in our society, in our country, is because there are people who, they might claim they're not racist, but their very silence makes them complicit. Beyond that, they continue to do things to perpetuate that they don't care about anyone else beyond themselves. For example, here in Texas, um, with this whole COVID stuff, a lot of cities have enacted requirements for face coverings and masks. Laredo has, um, San Antonio has, Dallas has, Houston has, and I can't speak. I can speak for Laredo and I can speak for San Antonio, because I I know people in Laredo and what they tell me, um, and I was just in San Antonio. In San Antonio, you you can't go anywhere. In Laredo and San Antonio, you're denied entrance into anywhere if you don't have a mask on. Houston, not so much. I don't know about Dallas. Houston, I went to HEB last week, um, just to get some groceries, and there were so many people out there. About half of them didn't have a mask. I've been on my Facebook with people that I went to high school with who just are ignorant and are just, they don't care. They're not going to stay home and they're not going to wear a mask. And they they feel that their freedom is more important than everyone else's well-being, and that's not okay. We still keep seeing that, and start to think about why are people protesting all over the country, protesting stay-at-home orders? Could it be it's because they see that it's minorities that are adversely affected from COVID, dying? The majority of the deaths from COVID are minorities, and so they just don't care because they feel their freedoms, their whatever, is more important than the safety of and the well-being and the life of anyone else out there. That's literally what I take that to mean. And that is absolutely not okay. That is absolutely, positively not okay. If that is your mindset, stay away from me. I'll post the numbers for, you know, the Georgia governor's office, if anyone wants to call and demand justice. I think the last I heard about it, it's being taken up to the to investigations, but I'll still post the numbers, and let's do better, everyone.